The Origin of Black People, According to the Bible, Bible Mysteries Explained. Part 7, Africa. The Bible and the Search for Truth. A later religious tradition should not automatically be treated as historical fact. Instead, it should be examined as evidence of what people in a particular historical period believed, taught, or imagined about the past. This distinction is especially important when discussing claims about Ham's burial place. Different traditions have suggested locations in Africa or the ancient Near East. Some have associated him with Ethiopia, Sudan, Egypt, or Mesopotamia, but there is no universally established archaeological evidence identifying the actual burial place of the biblical Ham. The same caution applies to claims that particular modern ethnic groups are direct descendants of Ham's individual sons. Such claims may appear in religious traditions or historical writings, but they cannot automatically be established through the biblical genealogies alone. So what can we confidently say? We can say that biblical tradition places Ham within Noah's family and associates, his sons, with important ancient peoples and territories. We can also say that Africa occupies a significant position within the geographical world of the Bible, but the story becomes even more important when we examine the question of African identity itself after thousands of years. The story of Africa in biblical history remains a subject of fascination, debate, and sometimes controversy. The Bible contains references to Egypt, Cush, Puta, Libya, Ethiopia, and other regions connected with Africa. It also describes people from these regions interacting with Israelites and other populations throughout biblical history, but the Bible should not be used to promote the idea that an entire race was cursed. That conclusion is not supported by the story in Genesis. The curse described there is directed toward Canaan, not toward Ham, and certainly not toward every African person. Modern scholarship also reminds us that the history of African peoples cannot be reduced to one genealogy. Africa is the most genetically and linguistically diverse continent on Earth. Its peoples have experienced enormous movements of population and cultural exchange over extremely long periods. Archaeology reveals ancient cities and kingdoms. Linguistics traces relationships between languages. Genetics provides evidence about population movements and ancestry. Oral traditions preserve memories passed through generations, and written records from Africa and from civilizations outside Africa provide additional pieces of the historical puzzle. Together, these sources allow us to construct a much richer understanding of Africa's past. Perhaps the greatest lesson from the biblical story is not about a curse. It is about ancestry, migration, identity, and the way human beings remember their origins. To be continued in Chapter 8.